We are going live. Hey, everybody, it's showtime. Showtime, and I'm a giant nerd. All right.
Do. Oh, yeah.
Ready to go live. Hello, everybody. It's a dinosaur. His name's Rex and blah, 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 bloop. Do. Yeah! Tonight's live stream is sponsored by Paketo, Castle Siege, Starforge, and Blessed Dark hit Kickstarter October 15th. Yeah, that's what you got yourself into, Josh. I just want to say that right now. Hey, everybody, it's Chris from the Charity Board Gamer. It is the Extra Life Countdown. We are getting ripped and raring and roaring and ready to go, and my mind is already starting to feel tired. So, yeah, we are about to do a 24-hour marathon come tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, raising money for the kids and making other people aware of the awesome Extra Life community that we have in the tabletop industry. So be on the lookout. If you're on our Twitch channel, too, right now, you can actually see in the About, and you'll see all these amazing people. You'll see somebody like John from Book of Nerds, Amanda Panda. You'll see Brian and Amanda. You'll see just different people that are actually raising money for good causes and the hospitals that they're actually sponsoring and helping out with. So if you're interested, please keep them in mind and catch us live tomorrow. But tonight, this is part of the Extra Life Countdown. So I am super excited because I have been a fan of Too Many Bones. And I've gotten the chance to make friends with Josh recently from Chip Theory, and I'm going to try to say it right. Josh Wielgus.
You got it. You nailed it.
Hey,
first try.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was first try now, but earlier when I was enunciating earlier, it was completely horrible. So yeah, no, but yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to talk a little bit about him. If you've seen any of his profile pictures or anything, you'll notice that he is like some sort of master drummer. So I
wouldn't go so far as to say I'm a master, but I get the job
okay
done. I get the job
well you're no Phil Collins, but you're close enough. Or who would be the drummer that you would aspire to be like? Because Phil Collins could hit the drums and at the same time sing, and that's kind of hard because you're having to keep hand-eye coordination when you got to keep your rhythm with your feet, keep your rhythm with your hands, and the hi-hats, and singing at the same time.
I can't sing when I'm not playing drums, so that's just not something you want to see from me or hear from me, actually, more accurately. Man, this is a super cliche answer, but like the drum fill that changed my life was probably that intro drum fill to Smells Like Teen Spirit, and and I like to play with a lot of energy and a lot of like, so I mean, Dave Grohl is probably one of my biggest influences in terms of people that the general public would know. There's some really nerdy ones out there from like progressive rock bands and stuff that have influenced me, but I'll go with Dave Grohl. I'll go with the cliche.
Well, the drummer for Rush was pretty good too because of all the rhythm changes.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Neil. Yeah, absolutely. I don't like Rush's music very much, mostly because I hate Geddy Lee's voice. I hate Geddy Lee's voice, but the instrumentation and the drumming obviously is phenomenal. So yeah,
it's all good. And it looks like we got a couple people in here right now. We got William J. Brown III, the Hungry Gamer, and then we've got William? Sakabra. Saw the CTG tweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
I'm just out here promoting myself. It's all good.
Yep. Josh is kind of a big deal, Chris. And then he's almost as good as the drummer from Def Leppard, though he has more arms. Yeah, that is amazing. One arm drummer.
Rick Allen. Love that guy.
wild. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in Chip Theory Games. We're going to be talking about Josh, and then we're going to be talking about a charity which is called Headwater's Foundation for Justice. So we're gonna have that, and I'm going to quickly put a little bit more. If you see, there's actually a banner on there. If you want a little bit more information, you can go to headwatersfoundation.org. So let's go and talk. So tell us about your journey into board games. And now of course, you've been with Chip Theory Games for how long now?
In an official capacity, I've been with CTG for about 3.5, 4 years. So full disclosure, one of the big things about Chip Theory is that we are all about nepotism. So Josh Carlson and Adam Carlson are the owners. They are not brothers, which is what a lot of people think. They are cousins. And then Josh Carlson is my brother-in-law. So our wives are sisters. And I've loved board games my whole life. I've loved video games, actually, even a little bit more my whole life. You can see some stuff behind me that is video game related. But Josh and his wife, Serena, so my sister-in-law, they were due to be having a baby right around Gen Con, around about 4 years ago. And I didn't know a whole lot about CTG at the time. Josh had just kind of married into the family. I knew he was nerdy and he had some similar interests to me, but he was looking for people to help in their booth. And this is pre Too Many Bones. So this was a Gen Con that we were promoting pre-orders for Too Many Bones. It wasn't even out yet. And I volunteered to go in his stead just because it was nerdy and they needed cheap volunteer help. And Chip Theory really wasn't that much on the map at the time. And went to Gen Con, had a lot of fun, came back. I was in web marketing at the time, and I basically just offered to help for free. I was like, hey, your company's kind of cool. I think I could help. Your social media presence sucks. And what can I do for you? And then that led to me writing a lot of flavor text for Too Many Bones, led to me helping edit the first original terrible rule book for Too Many Bones, I might add. We've come a long way since that one. And so then I started working like on a monthly stipend, part-time moonlighting for Chip Theory while I was living in Madison, Wisconsin. Slowly led to more and more and more, and the company's kind of exploded in popularity, largely due to Too Many Bones, and that has led to me being able to make this my full-time gig. So I'm very fortunate and blessed in that regard. The fact that I'm Josh's brother-in-law is kind of coincidental at this point, but I always feel awkward mentioning it, and because it does look like nepotism no matter how you slice it. So yeah,
it's good. Well, I mean, you think about it, you do grow closer to the people that you're nearby, and you try to help. I mean, family, you help family. I mean, that's right. How it should be. I mean, not every time is that the case, but I do like the idea that there is some sort of family aspect to it from it. Looks like Allison from Kidsplaining is on here saying hi. Hey, what's up, Allison?
Hello.
She'll be on later to play tattoo stories. I'm excited about that. We're going to see who's the best at their ink work. It's probably not going to be me, but yeah, it'll be fun. Do
you have any tattoos in real life?
No, I don't. I'm that person that says, oh, I at some point I'm going to get a tattoo, and then I'll have all these ideas for tattoos, and I'll be like, yeah, and this is where I'm going to put the tattoo. And then when it comes time, I don't want to spend the money for the tattoo. And so I don't get the tattoo because I hear they're addictive. My wife's got 3 tattoos. She's got one on her foot where it's Blackbird, where it actually has lyrics to Blackbird on there.
Sure.
And it's I think she has to take these broken wings and learn to fly. And then on the back of her calf is a turtle with a compass for the shell. And so it's kind of a maternal type thing. And then she has a vine and vine, kind of like this is the vine and these are the branches type vine. On the back of her shoulder, around her shoulder bone. Me, nice. I know what I'd want to get. I know exactly what I want to get. I'm just not ready to pay for it because, it's just one of those things where it's like, I could pay $80, or I could not pay $80, and I choose not.
I could buy a board game.
And you could buy a board game. You could actually, do some fun things. You could get some groceries. I mean, that's how I looked at it. I look at it as like, all right, $80. I could probably get groceries for about a week's worth, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, or
I have no tattoos, and I don't really have any large interest in getting one. I'm kind of afraid of the needle, so
Yeah. Let's see here. What is somebody's already asking about this thing. What is this thing? Burn cycle? I guess
Yeah.
we should talk about that. All right. So tell us what is going on with burn cycle?
Oh, what's going on with Burn Cycle is that I'm working a lot of late nights right now, working on Burn Cycle. That's what's going on. Burn Cycle is a new big box. So think our other larger titles like Too Many Bones, Cloudspire, new 1 to 4 player cooperative board game infiltration game, action sequencing game that we have coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday. So we are now 4 days away. This week has flown by, and we are busily working basically around the clock, getting this Kickstarter into shape, getting our marketing plan into shape, and working on the game. One of the things that Kickstarters force you to do is to really make sure that you get your working prototype, kind of buttoned up, and that is one of the things that takes the most time. That's when you really realize how many holes are or are not in a game design, is when you start building that prototype to show the public, and you don't get to just like casually walk over rules exceptions anymore and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a very different sort of game than the ones that we've made. We've largely, for our big box games, between Hoplomachus, Cloudspire, Too Many Bones, they really are a tactical combat driven. There's what I go for. There's a lot of combat in them. We've got the health chips and the health stacks and all that kind of stuff going on. This is a different experience. There's no health chips in this game. It's much more about avoiding combat more than anything. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's like a full-on.
It's not full on. It's not okay. I was about to say full on Amish or pacifist, but
yeah, no. There is a little bit of conflict, a little bit of confrontation, and that kind of thing. Your bots do have durability that they can lose as they engage with guards and that kind of thing. But it's really more about clever action sequencing. There's a little bit of so thematically speaking, you're robots, and a long time ago humans were wiped out due to humans being stupid and greedy and whatever. Yeah, I know, right? And humans brought them back to life.
Okay.
Humans brought them back to life. Or sorry, robots brought the humans back to life. There we go.
Oh wow.
And then the humans promptly enslaved the robots. So it's kind of a twist on the whole, like, oh, evil AI takes over the universe. Well, this time the humans are actually evil, and the robots, are trying to fight back. So you are infiltrating these huge evil corporations, trying to, slowly gain back control of yourself, of your robot. You're trying to disobey your programming, basically, that the humans have used to enslave you and control your actions. So there's it started as kind of like a programming game. Josh and Adam are big fans of Robo Rally, if you've ever played that. It started more as a programming game, but now it's more about you're drawing action chips out of a bag and placing them in something called the burn cycle, which is this sort of hack, I would say, that the robots have found and are trying to exploit in order to do what they want instead of what they're being commanded to do. So you draw these actions out of your bag, you place them in the burn cycle, and you get bonuses if you follow the actions that are in the burn cycle. Or you can basically go outside of the burn cycle and do whatever you want, but you don't gain action. So you're trying to kind of sequence out your turn in such a way that you're gaining bonuses when appropriate. You're going outside of the burn cycle when you want to, despite not gaining a bonus for it. And then along the side, there's this whole other network that you're navigating, which is symbolic of basically the security system network of the building that you're trying to infiltrate. And the CEO of the corporation is trying to track you down on the network, sending out pings, trying to find you. It's kind of almost an abstract side game that's happening while you are trying to infiltrate the building on the map. So what we were finding is that on the map, as you're waiting for guards to pass, or waiting waiting for the optimal timing on your turn. We wanted to give you something to do rather than just sit around and wait. So you can engage on the network and try to gain power, which is the equivalent of experience points, by knocking off corporate pings off the network, by traveling to the core of the network. And I don't know. There's a lot going on. It's hard to summarize in like in a couple sentences. Yeah, but the overall point of the game, what you're trying to do, you're trying to get to the third floor of whichever corporation you're trying to infiltrate. There's 3 corporations in the base game, and then there will be a 4th one available as an add-on for Kickstarter. And if you make it all the way to the 3rd floor, as there's a threat meter that's ticking up and making the game harder and harder and harder for you as you traverse through the building. And you're trying to access basically the CEO's office and break in. And if you manage to do that and confront the CEO, that's how you win the game. So it's the same like premium chip theory production that we're known for. You've got a big neoprene mat that represents basically a blank building, and then we've got all sorts of modular neoprene rooms that you're going to be placing for each floor. Which is so we got neoprene upon neoprene, which we kind of toyed with a little bit with Cloudspire. Allison's asking how long is the gameplay? It's about 45 minutes per player right now. So and again, it's 1 to 4 player. Playing solo, it moves pretty quick. 4 player gets a little bit longer, but I don't know. It's a little bit about Burnside. We haven't shown like any gameplay, any like true gameplay yet. We're out here right before I came on. We were out here filming the first half of a gameplay video that will be going up on the Kickstarter. We'll be filming the rest of it later tonight. But it's cool. It's cool, and it's very different, and the theme is really fun. The art is phenomenal and has a very retro sci-fi vibe to it with a lot of like flat colors, which is a very different approach from all of the other chip theory games that we've done so far. So coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday. That's
really cool. Yeah, Tuesday. I know. Thank you for reminding about Tuesday, because that's exactly what Jason was asking. I think he came in just a little after you had mentioned it, but yeah. Tuesday is when the Kickstarter goes live. What are you asking price wise for the Kickstarter for this one?
So there's a couple different pledge tiers. The MSRP of the game is right in line with Cloudspire and Too Many Bones. And so this is new information we have not released publicly yet, but I can tell you that if you just come in at the base game tier, it's $115. If you and then there's some bundles where you basically get additional savings with each bundle. So chip theory, our approach is always when we launch a new IP, especially, we try to give a fairly significant price break on it as a way of saying like, hey, we understand you're taking a risk by backing an unproven title, an unproven IP, and so we try to give pretty decent discounts on new games like this, and we don't ever put our games on sale outside of Kickstarter, and we don't do any Kickstarter exclusives. So if you wait till after the Kickstarter, it will be available with all the stretch goals. However, it will be $130 instead of the significant price break you can get by buying it on Kickstarter. So.
I mean, and that makes sense. That makes sense. I like the fact that you're not doing anything super Kickstarter exclusive. I think sometimes when you see those things, it's kind of like I like the idea that it's already a discounted price.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. I think
that's the spirit of Kickstarter to us. We're coming to you and saying like, hey, this thing's not finished yet. And spoiler alert, it's not. Like we're still actively developing it. So come take a risk. Come take a risk. I think our track record is pretty solid. So I don't think there's much risk there, but it is risky, right? You might not like it. You've never played it.
It looks like William said, like you could just get the base game.
The base game is going to have a lot of content in it. This again, it's a very component and content heavy game, just like we always try to do. But yeah, we just fundamentally find it not consumer friendly to try and make people pay full price for something that's unproven, to try to give them a bunch of crap that they're afraid they're going to miss out on, or exclusive minis and all that kind of stuff. We're just not into that. So
I mean, you see some Kickstarters out there where it's like they're asking people to pay $300 and something, and I'm thinking to myself, $300 and something, and it's minis that won't maybe even serve a purpose and down the road. It's like, or I could have a decent, and that's maybe decent quality, where at least I can get a better quality product for less and not have to worry about the headache of not knowing if it's going to be worth it or not so much.
Right.
I mean, I like you said, you all have a pretty good track record with Too Many Bones, with Cloudspire. So I mean, I don't see a reason why people would not back something that you all have made.
We tend to launch things again. Most companies are coming to Kickstarter now with something that at least looks like it's like done. And of course, most of these things are not done. They're still working on some things behind the scenes. We do take a little bit of a different approach. We tend to launch things on Kickstarter earlier than a lot of companies do in terms of the development process, and say, like, hey, trust us that some of the questions you might have about this product, they're going to get answered, and they're going to get answered in the right way. But I have to laugh. Like we launched Cloudspire on Kickstarter a long time ago. And we launched it very early in development, and a lot of people were like, "This doesn't even look like you guys know what you're doing. Look at Tidal Blades over here, that looks like it's almost done." And we fulfilled Cloudspire like a year ago, and Tidal Blades is just now fulfilling. So there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors that's going on with every Kickstarter.
Yeah,
just so you all know that. That's not a shot at Tidal Blades. It looks great, and I would really love to play it. It's just you never know. You never really know the state of some of these games that are showing up on Kickstarter. So anyway.
Yeah. And Allison said it best, I think, with this. It's just Kickstarter is to support the publishers, and bonus is to get the stretch goals and a cheaper price. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, the Kickstarter exclusive things, I feel like sometimes might pressure some people into automatically doing it. But at the same time, then later down the road, you're like waiting, and it's a year later, and you're like, where's the game? And then it comes, and you're just kind of like, I just spent this much on this. And sometimes you have that experience.
Right.
Whereas what I've seen you all do is you've actually listened to a lot of your audience and a lot of your consumers, and actually giving their insight and putting it into the production quality that you're making. Something that I noticed, like I've got an older copy of Too Many Bones where it was before the braided outsides for the player.
Oh yeah, the edge stitching. Yeah.
Yeah. So before the stitching, now you can see the stitching now on the outside on the later editions, which I think it's great, because you think about it, mouse pads, which is kind of the way I think of neoprene, is it can fray. So that little stitching just makes for a nicer quality. Plus the coloring that matches with the dice, I think it's good. I think that's neat that you can do that. So and I think, can you ask him about customer service? Yeah. So I definitely can agree. Good customer service.
We put a lot of, so one of the things about our games, like Too Many Bones has 130 custom dice in them. So none of them are like just standard D6s. And that means that when they're printed by hand, we have a higher error rate in our games basically than a lot of other companies, simply due to the quantity of custom made components. And so we actually have a fairly large customer service department, just so that we can provide, hopefully that extra experience for folks. Like that's a big deal to us. And we don't want anybody to email us saying like, hey, I got a wrong die or one bad die, or there's a chip here, or like whatever, and not get that resolved as fast as humanly possible. So yeah.
Let's see here. Jason said, yeah, Chip Theory Games customer service is amazing. They sent us rock and roll card packs from the 90s. What, from the 90s?
I don't know. I have no idea where that came from or who sent that to you. But it made me laugh. So somebody in our CS department, I haven't even had a chance to check. Our support staff are only in like 1 or 2 days a week right now, in the office 1 or 2 days a week, just because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. But I need to follow. Somebody sent him a pack of like, they were like 90s hair metal band.
That's awesome.
Trading cards, and I don't know why.
Good.
I don't know where they were found or why they got sent, but Jason got those, and I was jealous because I remember my older sister actually like buying those back in the 90s. But anyway.
Yeah, Jason's a great guy. You'll see Jason at a lot of cons working for the different publishers through the Envoy system, which is just he's phenomenal. Absolutely so cool. Let's see here. Very true, Sakabra, and I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but forgive me. See, I want to say it like it's Scabra, like ska band, but and then hey, Pickle 1477, good to have you. So that's awesome. So yeah, I am excited to see what is going to come from you all next Tuesday. I know Sakab or Sakabra. Okay, Sakabra. All right, cool. But yeah, just I'm excited to see how well you do on this Kickstarter. I think you all have done a great job with working with the consumer base and working with customers, and you truly the people here in the chat are praising you. I mean, that's right off the bat. They're praising what your company does. And when you get that immediately, when we mention the word, we'd even mention customer service. They're the ones mentioning customer service. So to see that means that you all are doing something right. A lot of times I've been hearing about other Kickstarter fulfillment issues where the customer service part is there. there's not great stories sometimes.
Right.
So to hear this from you truly have raving fans in this chat right now.
You're
doing.
We value that community so much. I mean, we've grown. Our sales. This has been our best sales year ever, but we've grown fairly slowly in terms of like what we try to do is we try to gain, like 500 to 1,000 backers more with each campaign. Really invest in the community that already loves our stuff. Listen to our community to try and give them what they're asking for, which sometimes is crazy stuff like our Too Many Bones Trove chest, which I still don't know if it was a good idea to do that thing or not.
That thing is
insane,
huge.
but
I've seen some of it. I think All Aboard Gamer had gotten one, Brandon, and I'm just like, what in the world is that giant honking thing? I'm like looking at it, I'm like, what is this?
Well, it's funny, fans were begging for it, like constantly, like give us an all-in-one, chest for Too Many Bones. Give us something, and we're like, we don't think you know what you're asking for, community. Like we think you want this, but I don't know if you're sure that you actually want this, and that's proven out with some people because they get all 35 pounds worth of Too Many Bones into this trove chest, and then they're like, oh, how do I bring it to game night? And we're like, well, yeah, that's
a great question.
It's 35 pounds of game content. Like, what did you expect? But no, our community also gives us lots and lots and lots of great ideas. The community actually were the first people to ask us and inform us that like edge stitching on neoprene mats was even a thing. Like we had never even seen that offered from our manufacturer, and so that was actually something that came about from our community. They've got a million different ideas, and they're just so passionate. And so our philosophy has been, let's lean into that. Let's continue to make those people happy rather than just trying to go for the next big cash grab or money grab. And that's just like, that's the spirit of the company too. Is just like, we want to continue to innovate. We want to continue to make cool, crazy stuff that excites us. And we want to continue to just be generous people. Our games don't have the margins that a lot of other board games have. And we could theoretically sell them for more, but we just don't, because that's not what we're about. We are profitable. We are all making a decent living, all of us in leadership here, and that's we're happy to do it and just continue to grow our audience in that way. So
that's awesome. Well, let's go from here right now. Let's go ahead and let's start talking about a charity. I mean, I think we could seriously talk the whole rest of the night about Burn Cycle and about Too Many Bones and of course Cloudspire and just the amazing work that you all are doing in the board game industry. But there was something that you wanted to talk that was on your heart. You wanted to talk about Headwater's Foundation for Justice. I'm going to pull that up real quick. I'm going to let you talk about it. I'm going to navigate through the page. So as people are looking at the page, feel free to let me know when to stop or anything like there, and I'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah, I'll just talk. In general, I mean, 2020, right? I mean, in general, 2020, yeah. Like
that's all you have to say.
Yeah, like just leave it right there. The riots and everything, like the George Floyd stuff. I mean, that happened in Minneapolis. Like that happened, 10 minutes from our offices. We're not located right in Minneapolis, but we are close enough. Plymouth, Minnesota. We're close enough that like that stuff really, really resonated. And yeah, it just like it was, you know, there were businesses around us. We didn't end up doing this, but there were businesses around us that were like putting cardboard and boards and stuff over their windows in case the riots happened to like move this close. And so, you know, that along with just, you know, like everything 2020, like I was saying, like all of that stuff really like moved us to say like, what can we do as a company to give back? We've done plenty of stuff for our own community before. You know, we hide goofy riddles inside of our board games that, you know, allow our customers to get free stuff. We've tried to sell things as cheap as we can, but like, what can we do? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing as a company, like for the world? You know, besides, obviously there's value in entertainment, obviously there's value in games, but like, what can we do for the world? And all of this racial unrest, all of this political unrest, all of this stuff in 2020 really just like left a mark. And you know, the racial side of it for us was also important. We're a company of primarily white dudes, white dudes and white gals primarily, and it, you know, it really, everything in 2020 and all this stuff in Minneapolis really highlighted to us just like how, you know, I hesitate to say that we were completely ignorant of it, but I mean, just how uneducated we maybe were about, you know, what this stuff looks like for minorities, and minorities really like next door to us, honestly. And so, you know, after the George Floyd stuff, after, you know, a lot of the Black Lives Matter stuff, a lot of the fallout from the Origins Convention and GAMA and so on and so forth this year, we really felt like we wanted to make a difference. And, you know, a lot of companies were putting out statements and that kind of thing, but we wanted to make sure that whatever we were doing, we kind of put our money where our mouth was and really try to put it to action as opposed to just a cute statement on, a cute statement with a black background and white text on social media. So, so you can go to chiptheorygames.com/accountability and see the complete statement about all the things that we're trying to do as a company to do better and create more good in the world. But one of those things involves donating money to a few different charities. So, there's a couple that we list on that accountability page. The main one that we've already donated some money to here in 2020 is the Headwaters Foundation for Justice. And again, to the point of wanting to do better and do more in our own community, one of the things that really spoke to us about you know, Headwaters Foundation was their own commitment to working with people of color and BIPOC folks. And doing and allowing they basically give out grants to local businesses, to local other local folks who are trying to do other good things here in Minneapolis, whether that's you know, rebuilding businesses from the riots, whether that's you know, programs that are trying to you know, build up things for marginalized races, marginalized people groups here in the Twin Cities. They're all about kind of taking those grants, grant proposals and grant ideas and giving money out to folks that really need it and that can do the most good here in the local community. And again, as a bunch of white dudes, the fact that they are really, really strongly promoting the idea of inclusivity and helping marginalized people groups and minority groups really, really resonated with us. And that was a big part of why we chose them as one of the charities to highlight and make sure we're donating to as a part of our company accountability statement.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's good to see companies get involved and find ways to help out the community. I think that's very important. A lot, you don't always see that. You might hear a little bit in the background, but you don't get the chance to really see it as much. So knowing that your company is doing that with their time as well, it's nice to hear that. It's nice. It's nice to hear that that's something that you all do. Yeah, I mean, this was started in 1984, and it's just pretty amazing that they're still making grants and they're giving them out to help people. That's wonderful. I mean, there's even a place right here, so where people can register for a grant, and they can even find out more about it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say other than like we as a company, we want to do good for the world, and we saw this as a fantastic local opportunity to do that. We, again, as uneducated as we were about like some of the opportunities that might be available right next door to us, we felt like this was a great starting point for us to, as they filter grants and they filter requests for cash, and that kind of thing, we felt like they would probably do a better job, not probably, that they could do a better job than we could do, dispersing helpful funds and helping, create some of that momentum here locally that we really want to see happen. So, yeah.
No, I think it's good. I think it's good that you're getting involved in that respect, because you're helping the organizations that are already trying to help, and you're giving them the funds to be able to make changes and actually get feet out there on the streets and actually making differences. I think that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it's important. A lot of us want to see change, but there's people that have been trying to see change. Like this organization has been trying to make a difference since 1984. Why not help that organization and try to get them so that way they can keep doing the amazing work that they're doing? So that's really cool and very admirable. And I do understand, that a lot of things happen that we don't have to deal with as much. And so how do we help those people that are having to deal with it? And I think it's a great approach that you all are doing in regards to saying, okay, we know that we are very fortunate. How do we help the people that are not? So,
right. Yeah, we felt, I mean, again, and this is not to brag about chip theory, but again, this has been, like COVID 2020, all this stuff. And yet this has been easily chip theory's most successful year ever. Like our sales have been phenomenal. Like we have not felt the trauma as a business anyway. We have not felt the trauma that so many other folks have. And so as all of this stuff started happening, this year more than any other, we really felt convicted as a business. Like here we are doing great. Like, so what are we gonna do with that? Are we just gonna make more money for all of us, or are we gonna actually, do something for people that really, really need it? And in 2020, more people need help than ever before, at least in my lifetime. So yeah.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. Well, I know you have a lot of work that you have to do right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I want to especially say thank you to Josh for coming on tonight, for taking his time to talk about not only the charity, but also about Burn Cycle, a little bit about himself. And I hope that you will consider backing Burn Cycle next Tuesday when it goes live. I don't even know what time it's going to go live.
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Central. It's 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
We will be live on Kickstarter. We will be doing a live stream over on our YouTube channel for the launch, and so you'll probably see me there again at that time as well.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to watching that live stream then. So for everybody, I'm going to go ahead and play us out. I'm going to wish you all a great night, and I'll see you all later. Bye, everybody. And remember,
thanks, everybody.
If where we can gather at a table, we can surely do the same for a good cause. So have a great night. We'd like to also thank The Op for sponsoring tonight's live stream. One of our favorite games for them currently is Hughes